Sydney going left to right. First bounce. Carey starting in the centre square. McKernan goes up, knocks it down wide of the pack. Kick it off the ground out towards the wing. Stevens sockers again. Close to the boundary. Kelly, can he keep it in? No, he can't. Across the line it goes, and a boundary throw. Paul Kelly. Tough son of a gun. Throw in on the wing after a soccer reach. McKernan props in front. Stafford, who's been in very good form, in from the side. Cresswell knocked it down. Maxfield on his knees. Kick it. Was he taken high? Not according to the umpire. Scott. Kick it emerges again. Could have been taken high that time. Kicks it out of the middle. Freeborn solidly held to him, says the umpire, and a bounce.
Glenn Freeborn really making his mark now with North Melbourne. Played the 3 finals from last year. Originally recruited from Woodville West Torrens in South Australia. Stafford played for the Allies. He's had a great season. To Dyson, caught, run down. Good play by Simpson. He's been a handy player for North Melbourne this year. Stevens ties it up with Stafford.
Interesting setup for North Melbourne. They've got Wayne Carey basically playing as a loose man in the defensive 50-metre area. Obviously, Shannon Grant is the player up the other end and the opposite end for the Swans loose.
Could be a worry if Lockett charges out on one of those long runs. Swash playing his 150th game today. Back to Scott. It's a hurried kick to the half-forward line. Scholes there. Crocker got a push out. That's not paid. Freeborn trying to crash his way through. Great tackle by Cresswell. Laidley with quick hands. North Melbourne moving the ball quickly through the centre square to Scholl. Just outside 50. He's a goal kicker. Long kick. Off target. 1 point.
Wayne Carey galloping across half-back at the present time. Huskis comes away from the back pocket, drives it around the outer side. Freeborn favoured by the kick, works off his marker nicely. That was Lewis, and marks it right half forward. Back it comes for North, then probing kick. McKernan the danger, runs free behind. Huskis the first back, about 20 metres out from his own goal. Gently across to McPherson. Oh, flirting with danger there. Charged down by Simpson. Right across the boot. It's 2 behinds to no score.
Lee, what do you think of Wayne Carey playing as a loose man, or would you like to see him line up at centre-half forward?
I think he lined up at centre-half forward, but when the play settled down, he just pushed back. And when as the Swans are kicking the ball in here, Carey's pushed up to be part of the zone defence. But we'll just see exactly what the tactics are all about as it develops.
Grant goes short to Paul Roos, playing his 300th game today. Back to Grant, second year of league football, just 21 games. He's a future star. High flyers, balls over the line on the full. There's Wayne Carey on screen. Certainly the key to North Melbourne. Short to Rock. Good 75 metres out from goal. Roberts on a lead. Crocker also a target in front. Good punch away by Dunkley. He does it well. McPherson. His kick's been half smothered. Still gets plenty of distance. McKernan, can he trap it? Because he's got plenty of space. Pumps the ball back inside 50. This is where North Melbourne's dangerous. They love the high ball. Terrific mark by Stafford.
Greg Stafford keeping his own defence. Short one to Dyson at centre-half back. Towards half-forward. Kick it. Electrifying. Away he goes. Inside the 50 now. Intended for Lockett. What a marvellous kick. He didn't have to break stride. How did he spot him? Out of the corner of his eye. Through the hair.
Yes, he's got great vision, Derek. Kick it on his left foot. Lockett ran to the part of the ground where he could kick it to him. Good kick, good lead, good mark.
Man in form, Tony Lockett, from just outside the 50. Punishing kick. Close. Behind. Good effort. Accurate over a long distance. As was the kick to him.
Derek Kickett's about your favourite player now, Dennis, after being chairman of selectors of Western Australia, and he won the medal.
Love it.
Into the centre square. Dyson's had a couple of touches. Thrown off the ball. Swash on the ground. Cresswell wanted the free kick. He gets a ball up. So right on the point of the centre square. Wayne Carey won the toss. Elected to kick towards the city end. McKernan wins the tap, kicked off the ground by Carey. Gets good distance. Still inside the centre square. Roberts couldn't trap it. Good play by Simpson. Gets it out wide. Crocker needs a kind bounce. Maxfield came in, got shepherded very heavily. Beautiful kick off target. Minor score.
Aaron Crocker, who batted 5 goals against Richmond back in round 8. Shannon Grant, normally good at bringing the ball in. There's Paul Roos. 300 this afternoon. Short one is on. McPherson's got it. McPherson up from the back pocket, plays on, wide of the mark. Not a particularly good kick. It hangs a long time in the air. Great grab though. Stafford, an emerging player. That was very clean over the top. He didn't play on because he was coming straight at the man on the mark. Brian Sheehan sends him back. Stafford slides off the side of the boot. Pitches just in front of Stevens. O'Loughlin kept it alive. Chapman couldn't control it. It was held. He'll get the free.
So Chapman goes towards Lewis. Put him under a lot of pressure. Ball spills loose. Luff falls over. Swash tumbles over the top. Scott Payne crash. Hit by Kickett. Under a lot of pressure now, the Swans inside the square. Chapman twisting and turning. The tackling's ferocious. Stevens wins out. Norfolk good in the clinches. They always have the numbers. Swash. It's a wonderful kick to Roberts. Did he hang onto it long enough, Lou?
I think the umpire anticipated a little that he was going to mark it quite clearly, and strictly speaking, he probably dropped it, but umpire had already blown the whistle.
Roberts playing against one of his former sides in Sydney. Also played at Brisbane. But has been a very important player in this North Melbourne lineup. The added height, the pace around the ground, the agility. And he's usually a thumping kick. Straight out of bounds on the full. Well, if you're going to thump them over the line on the full.
Well, it's interesting. I always think it's hard to kick accurately from 50 metres. And North have had 3 shots from the 50-metre line for 2 behinds and out of bounds.
Dyson and Grant combining. Grant did brilliantly. Great courage too. Dyson, chip past Roos. Chance here for the Swans. He's away towards the middle. O'Loughlin thought about going. Used a runner as a decoy from 60 metres out. Sets it up. The big man couldn't get his hands to that one. Archer towards the boundary line. Didn't have the ball. No free kick. Luff in trouble. Surrounded. Fairly close to the line. And across it goes. Ian Fairley having a very good season. Made his debut under Barry Cable way back in '83. There's Martin and Lockett. And North very short this afternoon, as you can see.
So inside 50 for the Swans. North Melbourne has had a lot of the ball. They just can't score. Down to Carey, thumps the ball on. He needs some runners. Roberts gets there, feeds the ball off to Scholl. Out in front, Danilchenko. He's in his sights, he's got him. Kicked 5 goals last week.
Good use of the ball, wasn't. Danilchenko has been that almost the 5th marking player for North Melbourne, but a very effective one. And he's been a very accurate kick in the couple of games I've seen him play recently, so you'd almost back him with this one.
5 goals last week from inside 50. The distance won't be a problem.
Lost my bet.
The accuracy is 1 point. Some wasted chances here, Lee.
Well, they have. I mean, that should have been really, it was a 35-metre shot that you would have backed Danilchenko to kick.
There's Grant. Quite a contrast there in hairstyles. Huskis comes away out of the back pocket towards the middle. Intended for Stafford. Scott did pretty well. Fairly from 60 metres out. Back they come again. Schwass in best position. Going back. Great courage shown by Danilchenko. He's marked this one about 15 metres out. Schwass in 2 minds. It was awkward. Obviously called Danilchenko in. And Danilchenko came back strongly.
And I think the mistake was made. Huskis was used on the kick in, and he played on and came back inside in the centre corridor, and the pressure from the North defence made him kick a bit blind, and Scott got the first possession back to Danilchenko.
Waiting for the first goal. We've got it now.
Yes, I think, and this has been the great strength of the North Melbourne team. Again, we see the ball to be forced back inside, and once North got first possession and were able to kick the ball back in, again, it's a 3-on-2 contest, and tall player in Danilchenko ends up being spoilt by a small player in Grant.
North Melbourne, Lee, certainly keep the pressure on by kicking the ball long to the front of the goal square. It puts the defence under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's a part of the North game, so strong.
They don't deviate from it. Stafford wins the tap, beats McKernan. Lewis was held. Stevens, quick kick back to 50. Crocker in front. So strong marking forward line for North Melbourne. Crocker puts it up. Carey, he's got the sit on McPherson. So the marking power of North Melbourne already looming as a problem for the Swans.
And Carey, as we mentioned, just drifted back into defence there at the start of the game, but lined up at centre-half forward at that centre bounce, and he's been picked up by Paul Roos with a good, strong overhead mark.
He's kicked 33 goals for the season. Arguably the best goal-kicking centre-half forward of all time. He's off target.
This time last season, included 43. And Carey is our scoreline, 10 points the margin. Huskis again in the pocket. That will come back to the middle this time. Didn't even look. Hugs the boundary around the outer side. Roos. He started pretty well, Paul Roos. Creswell towards the middle. This is Arnott. Thought of half back. Kicks out wide, intended for Maxfield or Luff. Luff was the man in the contest. It was knocked away by Fairley to Laidley to Carey. Quick hands, nicely done. This is King sprinting through the wing. Low trajectory kick, and they get a man free again on the outer side.
Actually, Rock lined up as a loose man in defence at the last centre bounce, Dennis, and I think North are deciding to drop a player back at each centre bounce, but it's a variation of players. It was Carey to start the game, then Rock, and as that player's drifted into the forward line, he hasn't been picked up by a direct opponent.
So Anthony Rock directly in front. Has it got the carry? Yes, it has. Goal.
Well, an exceptional start to North Melbourne. 7 scoring shots to 1 before we're very far into the game, and they're getting first hands on the ball. As KB said before, when they get the ball at midfield, you know they're going to be kicking it long into the forward 50. Not long blind kicks, but a directed pass, and really it's been a very good start by them.
Sydney trying to and struggling to get the ball inside 50. Free kick to McPherson. 7 scoring shots to 1. It's an indication of North Melbourne's dominance. It's gone short and finds Dyson. One of the big recruits for the Swans this year, along with Maxfield, who's playing his 100th game. 70 games for Melbourne. Kevin Dyson. Across to Dunkley. Puts Kickett under a lot of pressure. King just thumps the ball. Freeborn with quick hands, back to King, under pressure. Wade over the top, Wade Chapman. Maxfield couldn't handle it. Grant can to Kelly, the Brownlow medalist. Quick kick, Lockett just couldn't quite reach it. We've got a boundary throw in. So North 2-5-17, Sydney 1 behind, 1 point.
Luff and Fairley. Over the top, Schwass. Obviously got a sense of humour. We'll have it thrown in again. Great to see him back. Marvellous player. Led the club in kicks last season. Over 300 for Wayne Schwass. 9th best in the AFL. Fairley. Luff. No Schwass. Kelly, was he pushed in the back? Nothing doing. They battle after the ball. King knocks it out. Kick it. Cleverly played. In trouble, Chapman. Dunkley slaps it out wider. What's he doing down there? Dunkley battles. Scott underneath him. Carey over the top. So it seems that Dennis Pagan has flushed Rodney Eade out at this stage. Of course, Eade, a premiership coach with North reserves last season. So bounce about 55 metres out.
So Sydney still looking for their first goal. Kelly always working hard. It's a wild hand pass. Mighty McMahon comes out in front of Lockett. Scrubby old kick into the centre of the ground. McPherson couldn't take it. Dyson can. Hurried kick once more. Luck's of fortune, he finds Kelly.
What about the shepherd from McKernan on Lockett? Put him down.
See Kelly marking that ball. North Melbourne certainly very conscious of Tony Lockett. Some physical pressure. Players dropping back. So Kelly has got a chance to boost the stocks of the Swans from just inside 50. He's kicked it.
And a good finish. In fact, Anthony Stevens is picking up Paul Kelly's a fairly... and this is a situation here, a scrappy kick out of defence by Martin. He met the ball well, but it was a bad disposal. And once the Swans got first use of the ball, Stevens had come out on the rebound and Kelly was left unopposed for the quick kick back.
Margin 10 points. Wayne Schwass trying to crash through. Classic stuff there. McKernan up very high. Decisively down to Schwass on the burst, but he couldn't get through. Stafford and McKernan, body to body. McKernan, this time as far as Kickett. Kickett still battles after the ball. Somehow, Scott gets away. Nicely done. Cresswell got him the 2-8s, holding the ball, a decision. Well, it was, but tough call on Scott because he was brilliant in close. The kick goes out wide. Laidley gave a contest from behind, fisting away. This is Chapman, close to the boundary line. Wade Chapman pulls it back. Whoops. Lewis has to go now. They've got a problem. Danilchenko gives it away. Scholl to rock off his step. Laidley with the run of it, but coming across McPherson. Always his ball. And back come the Swans. Roos lost it in flight. Now a chance for Fairley. He's out number 2 against 1. He needs to pull it back, and he does towards the middle. Over the top, Huskis. Couldn't complete the mark. Danilchenko's in there. Grant put his body in. Sydney still with the numbers. Chapman taken high. He'll get the free kick. They worked hard there, and eventually were rewarded, but they always had an extra man.
North Melbourne by 10 points. Goes short to Creswell. Western Ferris winner in 94 to Grant. Usually a beautiful kick. King doing a good job on Kickett. Stevens tries to kick the ball off the ground, taken by Dyson. Kelly starting to win touches now. Sets it up to Lockett. Out in front of Mighty Mick. Gets a push. Not paid. Scott. Martin runs on. Kicks long. They're terrific on the rebound, North Melbourne. Freeborn's there. Strong punch away by Dunkley.
A fantastic balance in the air, Dunkley, whether it's to jump and mark or to jump and spoil. Very good timer once he loops off the ground. Not as easy as it looks.
It's always team lifting to see a good, strong, solid punch. Swash comes over the top once more. Rock, who's already kicked a goal in this opening term, traps it well. Goes short to Scholl. Been a handy player this year on the forward line. Played a lot in defence and on the wing. Down towards Crocker. Got 2 to beat. Huskis heads for the boundary line. Boundary throw in.
Well, I'd like to give a bit better idea where positions are, but they're changing about every 30 seconds at the moment. There's players going all over the ground with the sort of tactical matchups that are trying to be put into place.
Johnny Longmire on screen, along with Norm Dare, the assistant coach of North Melbourne, former coach of Brisbane. Dyson to McPherson, put him under pressure. Trying to force the ball forward as the Swans. Chapman be happy to head towards the boundary line.
North Melbourne lead by 10 points. There's the time remaining in this opening term. Lewis is 3, Scholl is 24. In the absence of Ruckman, they'll do it. Shoulder to shoulder, over the top from behind Simpson, and the free kick is going North's way. Well, obviously, under the new interpretation, Lewis was seen to infringe there, but it was marginal at best. A tough call. So Scholl right half forward. 2-5-1-1. North, the bulk of the attacking so far. Very high kick. Dunkley goes back. It's knocked down in front by Stafford. McPherson in trouble. Gets the hand pass off. This is Seymour. Deep in his own defence. Gets it away. Dunkley. Best policy. Roos across towards Huskis, who boots it through the middle. Kelly, good grab.
He's terrific overhead. Kelly gives the ball off to Chapman. Screws it back towards Lockett. Two big guys bumping shoulder to shoulder. Martin did well. North Melbourne through Archer. They've got that loose player. They've set that up well in this opening term. Comes across to Simpson. It's a tumble-hole kick. Luff did well to trap it. Gets it across to Creswell. Now on the rebound. The Swans with a chance. Roos in his 300th game can run to 50. Gives it off to Arnott. Goes short to Grant, who could run on. No one on the mark. Curves it back. He's kept it.
Well, it's really efficiency of conversion we're seeing here at the moment by the Swans. They've only had 3 scoring shots, but a couple of sloppy turnovers by North Melbourne when they've come out of defence, and it's been on the rebound that Swans have maintained possession and been able to effectively score through Grant. Very good left foot kick for goal.
Five possessions for Paul Roos. This is King out of the middle. Slick hands. Freeborn on the outer side. Kicks well inside the 50 from behind Nedeljchenko. He's only 35 metres out. Always difficult. 2 men in front and the third flyer.
Been around the league's seen a few years, Nedeljchenko, but really this last month he's really starting to look like a pretty competent senior player. Just as I mentioned before, gives North Melbourne he's about their 4th or 5th marking forward, and therefore takes the 4th or 5th defender for the opposition. He's looking a very good player.
Kicking at his second, deadly accurate. North post their third, and they lead now by 10 points.
And Anthony Rocker has come on also for Sydney Swans.
And I reckon if there hasn't been 30 positional change and 30 different matchups in this first 20 minutes of football, now Roberts is actually the loose man back for North Melbourne. It's a bit of a revolving door on which opponent you're on at any point of the game.
And Rocker on screen there. Fairley has been moved back to pick him up. Out of the square. Kelly's been caught, tied up by Archer. And poor Kelly. Most decorated players for the Swans, Brownlow medalist, a couple of best and fairest awards. There he is on hands and knees once more. Big pack of players can't get a clean break from the centre square. Swash is on the bottom. So North by 10 points. Nedeljchenko has kicked 2 goals for the Kangaroos in this opening term. Swash grabs it, caught by Creswell. Coming into this game, both these sides only played at Optus Oval 4 times. Last time they met at Optus Oval, North won by 124 points. Might be a bit more competitive today. Chance for Scholl inside the centre square. Once more, they just kicked the ball into that danger zone. Huskis out in front. He's won a few possessions. He's had 2 goals kicked on him, though. Crocker over the top. We've got a ball up 30 metres out from goal.
3-5 plays 2-1. North on top. Here's the bounce. In front, Carey. Dunkley trying to knock it away. McPherson comes out, but Carey's going to get a free kick. He's only about 35 metres out. Slight angle. You'd back him to get this.
Yes, the slight hold of the Guernsey, but only needs to be a slight hold of the Guernsey, and the umpires seem to free kick those kinds of incidences these days.
Promoter's dream this afternoon at one end, Wayne Carey, the other, Tony Lockett. And Carey Chance to increase the lead to 16 points. It's bending back. It's a good effort. It's a goal.
Yes, they are just such a high-scoring team, North Melbourne. I mean, they've already had, 9 scoring shots in the first quarter, and you really need to be kicking 15 goals to have much chance of beating them, I would think. They've got so many options in that forward 50.
Wayne Carey on screen. Roberts now, loose man in defence, so North Melbourne has had Carey, Rock and Roberts. Usually they run out of defence to create a loose man across the centre. Creswell in front, takes a juggled mark. Former Tasmanian gives it across to McPherson. Swash will put pressure on. Creswell comes away. Ruse, he might set him up here. Oh. Bang, oh, that's a heavy knock. Bounces up though. Chance for Carey. Getting there first is Creswell. Falls over, bang, down goes Archer from Dunkley. So a bit of weight now being thrown around. Ruse kicks the ball back. Grant, Freeborn gets him. Bundles him over the line as well.
Two tough customers there, KB. Archer and Dunkley.
So boundary throwing on centre wing. Roberts couldn't take it, was O'Loughlin. Dunkley does. Thumps the ball back inside 50. Simpson can't trap it. Got a boundary throw in.
Great result for the Swans, that. Ball running away from Simpson, so boundary throw in. Time enough for both sides to score. North up by 16 points, controlling the game so far. Ideal day. Roberts couldn't control it. O'Loughlin working in there. Chapman's over the ball. Well done by Blakey. Flicks it out. North's way. Laidley went to ground. Simpson, the hurried kick. It comes towards the wing. Tailor-made for Stevens. McPherson did well to go back. Schwass knocks it away. Coming through strongly was Simpson. Dragged down. Nice dummy there. The decoy from Creswell. Kicks it across towards centre half forward. Intended for Luff. Controlled it to his own advantage. Out number 2 on 1. Archer's got the ball. Meantime, it's coming back to Simpson. Here's the spare man back there. He's got the free. Wants to go to Laidley. The umpire demanding it come back.
I think this is an example. If you go with the ball hard enough and just go in fairly low, there's always a fair chance you'll get a free kick for a high tackle.
Schwass to Fairley. Clock running down. We're down to 7 seconds now. Fairley towards centre half forward. Can Carey mark? Not quite. Behind Roberts. We're down to 1 second. He left it behind. There's the siren. Good enough for the Sydney Swans at quarter time. They've been under the pump. North Melbourne 4-5, Sydney 2-1 at quarter time.
So North Melbourne by 16 points. Carey takes the first kick out of the centre square. It's been marked by Huskis. He's got the job on Danilchenko. He's been 2 goals in that opening term. Big punch away by Archer. Crashes into Creswell. Archer does well. Gets the ball across to Roberts. Kicks long. Crocker. Backing back is Dunkley. But was he held? Free kick is going against Crocker.
He was unlucky then, Crocker. I mean, he was definitely being shepherded out of the marking contest, and he was trying to make sure the umpire saw it and gave away the free kick, or the umpire chose to give away the free kick.
Huskis finds Ruse in his 300th game. Archer gets the free kick. Such a versatile player. Kicked 3 goals when he came on for the Vicks against the Allies. He finds Schwash in his 150th game. Gets it across to Simpson from outside 50. It's a long bomb. Danilchenko couldn't take it. Got his hands on the Sherrin. Scott claiming the free kick. We've got a ball up inside 50.
He's got a good upward extension, Danilchenko. When he sort of leaps and stretches, hands get a fair way up there.
He's kicked 11 goals for the season, including 5 last week against Footscray. He's had trouble cementing a place in the North Melbourne lineup. Danilchenko did well. It was a deft tap on, but it was taken by Creswell. Heads towards the boundary line. Kick it. Hasn't been sighted today. McKernan's also been fairly quiet in the opening term. A rock to King. He was held. The boy from Port Melbourne bounces up. Kicks the ball back towards Crocker. He's had a lot of injuries in his career. He's come back this year. He's booted 12 goals for the season. He was looking for Roberts, has it punched away. Good play by Seymour to Grant to Dyson. So the Swans now running the ball out of defence. Ruse pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Luff is the target. Couldn't take it. Archer just with brute strength. Was that a throw? Not paid. Grant. The Swans with numbers, but mighty McMartin. Great handball to Fairley, and the Roos are away.
High kick towards the wing. Stafford over the top. King. By Stafford. This is Rocker. High floating kick well inside the 50. Carey was down there. Had it knocked away by Roos. Chapman. Open goal beckons. And what's he done? He's got it. Just.
Yes, good goal, the Swans. They turn over in the defence in the forward line for North Melbourne. The Crocker pass was intercepted. The rebound really just came straight back. And see a marking contest just here between Carey and Paul Roos. So that's really the matchup. And I think they're virtually going to be playing from one end to the other, trying to rebound off each other.
So McKernan this time wins the tap. Rock paddles the ball along, gets it back, taken by Kelly. Ball goes to Chapman. That's a great kick to Roos. He can run in and kick a goal. Great start by the Swans. The second quarter, they've bounced out of the blocks.
Well, basically, Roos is the spare man effectively up the opposite end because Carey's going into the centre bounce, but he chose to run into the Swans' forward line rather than start in defence. And basically, that one extra forward, the Swans, and that created the space for him to get the ball in goal.
North Melbourne up by 4 points then. McKernan brilliantly down with a left-handed King. Very high kick down towards centre half forward. Waiting was Dinelchenko. He was crunched. No free kick. It spills out wide. This is Dyson coming away from half back. High towards the wing. Up to meet it. Luff. Good mark on his chest. Luff immediately wants to go. Maxfield's got the run of it. A kick at goal perhaps. No, he gives it to Lewis. Back over the head like a boundary throw in. Maxfield again in trouble. Well worked by the defenders. And eventually Sydney blow a golden opportunity. They give it up, holding the ball. Against Chapman, Wadley to take it. So tough and so hard back there. This is King coming away. Kicking towards the wing. Dyson plays in front though, and that's a very good grab with the hands. Coming hard at that one. Dyson, the short one. Kick it to Roos. He's about 80 metres from goal. Looks for Lockett. Hard to stop in that situation. Once he gets in front, very difficult. Lockett for his first here.
I think what we see here is Martin basically looked for him just before the vision came into screen, and once basically Lockett had sidestepped him and got the front spot, as Dennis said, he will always mark the ball if he gets between his opponent and the direction of the ball.
We've got a trend here. North the first two, Sydney the next two, North the next two, Sydney the next two. Feel like Malcolm McKerris. This to break the trend. Lockett puts it through. 3 on the trot.
Well, I think it's been a very good last 5 minutes for the Swans, and one of the reasons there's been so many positional trying out loose mans in defence, and I think all of a sudden the Swans have got first hands on the ball a few times, and there's just so much, there's free players all over the place because the positioning is basically all over the shop, and a good effort to get in front.
Quick turnaround by the Swans. They trail by 16 points at quarter time. It's now a 2 points advantage to the Swans, and they go forward once more to Grant. They've got players running in all directions, plenty of options. The kick's a poor one. Chipped off by King. Kicks the ball back. Grant's got the set. What a mark. Not paid. Swash pounced on it. Down to Carey. Dunkley will go the punch. Carey too strong. Wants to get the ball moving quickly. The trader, North Melbourne, Crocker. Shoal, written in the ground by O'Loughlin, and a ball up out, just about 20 metres out from goal. Craig Shoal, 24 for North Melbourne. 14 goals this year. He's been transformed into a forward. Umpire Brian Sheehan. Taken by Huskus. Swash. Second comeback game. Happy to see the ball roll over the line. Playing his 150th game today for North Melbourne.
So, great start by the Swans to this second term. 3 unanswered goals, down by 16 points at quarter time, suddenly in front by 2. Roos and Roberts. Roberts tries to knock it down. Roos beat him. Kelly escorts it across the line, so another boundary throw in.
I think Anthony Stevens is one of the better one-on-one players in the game, but it's been good for the Swans. Kelly has looked dangerous even with that matchup.
Tossed in again. Roos and Roberts. Roberts with the run this time. Straight to O'Loughlin, though. Kick towards the wing. Awkward half volley for Archer. Played it pretty well. Kept it in front. He's foxing for a free. Luff didn't take him. Kelly. Well worked by Luff. This is Dyson. The defensive side of the wing. Great smother there by Anderson. It ricochets up towards the wing. Taken by Fairley. Kept his head well. Freeborn. Across the ground, intended for Scholl. O'Loughlin's closing, overcommitted, awkward bounce though for Scholl. O'Loughlin got back into it, feeds it back. Dunkley, not always the best kick. This isn't too bad. It floats down towards half forward. Well, the North Melbourne man from behind, King, really didn't do very well there. As a result, Grant pulls it back. It's a wayward kick. McKernan goes in, turns it over though. This is Lewis, threads it through, intended for Arnott on the outer side. Still he goes, Arnott. Deep in the pocket, back to kick it. Okay, what do you think? Goal. Derek.
Well, I think really North Melbourne have created a lot of looseness in most positions because there's so many positional changes, and a lot of players, I'm sure, aren't exactly sure who their direct opponents are, and they've given away some ineffective disposals, and this is, I think, enabled the Swans to get 3 men forward, and eventually they've kicked the last 4 goals to go to a nice little lead.
Derek Kickett on screen started his career with North Melbourne, played 12 games before moving across to the Bombers. He's having a great duel with King. King's had 11 possessions. Kickett's just kicked his first goal. Creswell kicks short and finds Chapman. He's got a loose player in Luff. Luff will shoot from right on 50. This is a great catch. Lockett does the shepherding. Another goal to the Swans. Well, they've kicked 5 goals in this quarter, the Sydney Swans. North Melbourne haven't kicked a goal.
Yes, they have. They've just really got control of the first possession. That's the point. They're getting first hands on the ball. They're flowing forward, and really a very good, productive patch for the Swans. 5 goals in probably the last 5-10 minutes.
Well, how about this? Get out those Robert Palmer CDs. Simply irresistible from the Swans, and they come again. Kickett went down, though. King comes away. Over the top, nicely done. Down towards half forward goes Scott, pulls it back. Roberts has got it now. Well within his range is this kick. And they need a steadier. They're reeling at the present time. Sydney 7-1, North a 4-5. Mark Roberts will kick from just inside the 50. Margin 14 points. This to pull it back to 8. A former Swan. Wiped it off the boot. He runs away celebrating, or is he? Looks back anxiously. It is a goal.
And actually, Roberts has gone into the last couple of centre bounces. McKern has dropped forward for North Melbourne, and Stafford's actually gone with him. We see here that Roberts ran forward after the centre bounce, and Rocker, who was his direct opponent at the time, back in midfield wondering who he's on.
Sydney by 8 points. Rocker wins the tap. Shark by Rock. Quick snap back towards 50. Taken by Dunkley, heads towards the boundary line.
Interesting, McKernan has now virtually gone full forward for North, and Stafford, it looks like he's going to play on McKernan wherever he goes, as Stafford is down at full back.
Peter Bell on the interchange bench for North Melbourne. So Roberts versus Ruse. Scholl over the top. Knocks the ball over. Sydney 7-1-43. North Melbourne 5-5-35. 5 goals to Sydney this term. 1 to North Melbourne. After North dominated the first term, didn't really show up on the scoreboard. Blakey, it's a hurried kick, virtually straight up in the air. Carey comes in, bit of strength. Oh, just pole axes. Is it Dunkley? He's resuscitating him now.
Pretty aggressive tackle, that probably high, but we saw it from one side, the umpire saw it from the opposite side. Didn't see that.
Comes to Dyson. Been very handy this term. Hasn't kicked as well as I've seen him. Maxfield playing his 100th game. Quick hands to Lewis. Inside 50, Luff. He's a marking option. Lockett wins it. Bounces off like a pinball machine. Ruse will give it across the ground to Creswell. Oh! Kick it off the ground, son. It's been touched. Great play by Swash. Oh. Fantastic play by Swash, and it goes to show, Lee, if you keep chasing and keep running, something might happen. I still think it was pretty poor play by Creswell. This was a certain goal turned into a certain behind. But as you say, good desperation by Swash to actually finally draw the behind.
Well, fairly around the outer side. Blakey's got it. What a mess. 3-on-1. They didn't get the goal. Blakey comes away towards half forward. Crocker is up. On the ground in front, Scott, it spills. Huskis dragged down. Maxfield slides in. Plenty of hair in there. And it's tied up. Danilchenko at the base of the pack. At their best in a hairy situation. Here's the bounce inside the 50. Scholl missed it. Backing out Kelly. Wrestled down by Scott. And the ball up. Down towards centre half forward for North Melbourne, who trail 5-5 to 7-2. Good game. One down by Ruse, brilliantly done on the burst by Kelly. The kick wide of the mark, though Luff was breaking. Archer couldn't complete the mark. Cresswell anxious to make amends. This could bounce to kick it. It does. He's got problems, though, outnumbered. Tries to centre the ball, gets it to Lockett. Lockett falling to the ground, feeds it back. Anderson crashes in. Hasn't got it, surely. No free kick. And the umpire not in a very good spot to see all of that. Way across on this side of the ground, behind all the action. Anderson did very well.
A good desperate play in a dangerous situation for North.
So another chance for Sydney. Anderson, his kick was smothered. Sydney forces a ball up inside 50. 45 metres out from goal. Troy Luff, number 34. He's been a handy player. Good marking option for the Swans across half forward. He's averaged 7 marks a game. Only Lockett with 8 has done better for the Swans. So North Melbourne, with Anderson, was running off the ground, and now he's been sent back. Carey, beaten by Huskis. Well done. Kicks towards Lewis, and also Creswell. It's out on the full.
Yes, that was interesting. The ball almost followed Anderson, but he didn't have eyes in the back of his head, so he couldn't see it coming. Maybe he should run off backwards so he can watch the play.
Swash's kicks poor, really put Scott under a lot of pressure. Rock pounced on it to Stevens. Great tackle, Maxfield. Stewie Maxfield playing his 100th game today for the Swans. 89 for Richmond. Lockett was kept out of it by Martin. Archer over the top.
Archer finds Laidley in the back pocket. Dean Laidley, men on in the middle. Stevens is one of them. Still inside the defensive 50. Squares the ball towards the outer side. Crocker will need to go. He's outnumbered and does brilliantly. Great mark. gutsy player. Darren Crocker towards centre half forward. Huskis judged it best. Huskis paid the mark clearly, dragged down now, and I wonder why no 50. Game seemed to stop, then restart. Huskis goes short. Dyson, who's been handy, wide. Out towards Grant, missed it, waiting behind Fairley, gathers, close to the boundary line. Ian Fairley, brilliantly smothered by Grant, who got back into the contest and dived across the boot. And the ball spills across the boundary line.
It's been a very impressive, well, he is an impressive player, Grant. Second year of league football, I would think an up-and-coming star in the making.
And apprentice Andrew Jarman, tossed in, wide. Lewis a chance. Stevens coming off the ground for North. I'll miss him. Meantime, around the outer side, the Swans again getting the numbers around the ball. Schwass missed it, slapped out of there by McKernan. Down went Freeborn. Opportunity for Dyson, too slick. Arnott couldn't control it. Scott goes in, goes down. Blakey's there. And Blakey is held strongly by Dyson. We've got a ball up.
Corey McKernan, one of the stars of the competition. Lee mentioned him before the game. He's just had the 2 kicks and 1 handball. Anthony Stevens, one of the guns of North Melbourne, on the bench. Taken by Arnott to Kelly at ground level. The Swans have been fantastic in this second term. Chance for a rocker there. Grant at ground level. Archer takes away for North Melbourne. Goes very, very short to Rock. Kicks the ball back. O'Loughlin for the Swans. Goes the punch. Lewis couldn't take it. Going in very hard. Kelly was at the bottom of that. And we've got a ball up on centre wing. Sydney 7-2-44, lead by 9 points. North 5-5-35. John Blakey just gives the ball back. So McKernan against Stafford. McKernan wins the tap. Kelly, indefatigable, kicks the ball back inside the centre square. Simpson is caught by Grant. Rocker to Maxfield. The Swans to Lockett. Was it a push? Not paid. Good body pressure from Martin. Lockett's thrown to the ground. Archer. It's been strong in defence. It's a hurried kick. Safety to the boundary line. And the North Melbourne defence, Lee, under fierce pressure.
They are, yeah. Both sides are being really hard at this contest. I mean, it really is a very good game of football. But for Lockett to drop that sitter, I think just understates really the type of pressure that's on all the players out there, whether they imagine it or it's actually there.
What about the tackle by Dean Laidley to get the big man down? There's Scholl from half-back, high floater. O'Loughlin has to wait. That's awkward. Did well. McKernan bearing down. O'Loughlin, eyes only for the ball. Just forward of the wing, a centering kick. Luff comes on the lead. That's a strong mark. Quality opposition in the air as well. Archer, and he did him. Contorted his body to hold that one towards Lockett again, surrounded. Chapman's got it. Chapman brilliantly smothered off the boot by Bell. Chapman goes again. Lockett knocked away by Martin. In goes Rock, sliding in his kick it. Archer's got the ball somewhere in there. He's claimed. And we'll have a ball up.
John Blakey actually has been shifted on to Kelly. That was part of, as Stevens come off them, the rotation of the on-ballers for North Melbourne, and that's how it's been left.
Swans by 9 points. A chance. Ball up outside 50. Kelly. Dispossessed. Scholl. Ball shaken loose. Stevens back on the ground. Gets it across to Carey to Bell. North Melbourne on the burst. Kicks towards centre half forward. Stafford playing in front of McKernan. That's good play. Seymour loses control. Does well to slap it out to Dunkley. O'Loughlin under pressure.
Two behind the play.
Some good backup as Huskis takes it away through the centre square. They've got loose player in Luff. He'll run inside 50 and have a shot. Great goal, Swans. That's Luff's second goal for the term.
Well, I think yes, sometimes coaches can be overrated, but I think Rodney Eade, the way he's actually positioned the Swans players, he's so far beaten in this quarter, at least beaten North on again. A Swans player bobs up on his own within scoring distance because the North rotation is backfiring on them a bit, I think.
Well, Stevens and Kickett getting involved behind the play, and then Kickett took on about 3 of them at one stage. Out of the middle, Blakey meantime down towards half forward. Scholl, well done. Scott smothered brilliantly there off the boot by Dunkley. Down he goes, flicks it out to accommodate Seymour to Maxfield. Brilliantly done. Garlick comes away, kicks towards half forward, and the mark is held by Chapman. Not the worst of them this afternoon, and as always, Ben Laidley makes his opponent earn it. Using his face as a break there.
Eyes on the ball. It was a good mark, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Sent it. Rocker goes up right on the 50. Takes the mark. Anthony Rocker back in the side this afternoon. 8-2-5-5.
I think this kind of mark is... at the moment, Rocker's only given glimpses of it in so far in his short league career, but that ability to judge the ball, jump into it like that, makes you think he's only doing it once or twice a game these days, but when he gets a bit more consistency in his game, he might be just something.
He has a thumping kick. The lead currently at 15 points. This for 21. Distance, no problem. Accuracy, it's tight. I think he's just missed. That ball just falling right to left.
King, who's been a good defender for North Melbourne, has had a duel with Derek Kickett. Kicked straight down the centre of the ground. Crocker was the high flyer. Carey the crummer. Crossed the rock. It's a hurried kick. O'Loughlin with some body work. A bad bounce. Favours Scholl of North Melbourne to Roberts. Good play by Roos. Able to get his hand to it. Good anticipation and runs the ball through. Paul Roos. Milestone day, 300 games. To Eustace, who's racking up the possessions. O'Loughlin chips it across to Creswell. Sydney's been running North Melbourne off their feet in this second term. It's been rebound football. It's like throwing a rubber ball against a brick wall. It just keeps coming back. Dyson down here to Lockett. Well, he's only kicked one as plugger. North Melbourne lead by 15. Swans, I should say. Swans lead by 15 points. So without Plugger Lockett being the star, they're doing well, Lee.
Well, they certainly are. They haven't depended on him for the score today, and but really lovely driving kick from Dyson. A beautiful kick of the ball.
So Lockett, one of only 4 men to kick over 1,000 goals in league football from just inside 50. He's off target.
The lead increased. 16 points now, as it was at quarter time. King, good kick, a beauty. 60 metres and spot on. Scott to Blakey. Time for a late goal. Blakey through the middle, down towards half forward. Pushing the back was it seemed to be. Off the ground by Carey. Spills towards the boundary line. Still going. Picked up by Dunkley, who falls across. The umpire very front on there as Roberts appeared to get into the back of a defender. Matters not, it's out of bounds.
And they're able to mark the ball in their forward 50 at this point of the game, North Melbourne, and that's their strength. If they can't mark the ball there, the Swans players are certainly winning it on the rebound.
Clock running down to half-time. Carey and Dunkley. Dunkley tackled strongly. Too high, says the umpire. Must be getting sick of that. Carey, a couple of times now, has taken him very hard. Untidy hand pass. Seymour out of defence. Awkward. Eustace with time. Stafford troubled by the sun. Roos is running on. Roos has it on the wing. Schwartz peels off to come to him. Force the error. Chapman dragged down. Rebound opportunity for North. Roberts. Schwartz running down towards half forward. Looks to the middle. Comes back that way. Probing kick now. They'll contest about 20 metres. That must be a free kick behind. Play on's the call. No, the umpire paid advantage. Now he's taking it back. Dunkley, I think it is very slow to get up. Is it Seymour? Dunkley it is.
Can't say I'm that keen on the advantage rule as a whole, but I think it's much better now the umpire can reverse it. He pays the advantage, but really it never's going to turn out to be advantage, and once he knows that, well, takes the free kick back to where it was originally paid.
No doubt Mark Nash, the umpire, correct decision. He wanted to give advantage to the Swans. It didn't happen, so recalled it immediately. Wayne Carey, the offender. Dyson kicks the ball out wide, looking for Grant. He had Scott to beat. He's given away the free kick. Grant to take it. That's a good player in defence, the Swans. Yuskis has had 16 possessions. He's taken 6 marks. Had a bit of trouble with Danilchenko early. Here's Yuskis. Speak of the devil. Kicks the ball back towards the centre of the ground. Loft! Fantastic mark. He's kicked 2 goals this term. The siren sounds to end a fantastic quarter by the Sydney Swans. That term, they kicked 6 goals. They came out of the blocks firing, and they ran North Melbourne off their legs.
And I think they have, and I think North are a little frustrated at the moment. Their normal game plan isn't working for them. Stafford's doing a very good job on McKernan. Neither of them have had a lot of the ball, but McKernan's been basically a non-contributor at this point, and they're kicking the ball long into their forward line as they normally do, North Melbourne, but the Swans defenders are standing up, spoiling, and then on the rebound, they're really cutting North Melbourne up. So it was a very good quarter.
So the Sydney Swans coming off a very good term there, lead it at the half, 8-4 to 5-6. And they're up by 16 points, storming back into the game with 6 goals in the second quarter, 5 in the space of 10 minutes. McKernan goes up, knocks it down. Kelly, who's been good, thumps it down towards half forward, chopped off by Laidley, taken by Anderson. High kick inside the 50. Dunkley roos over the top. Neither of them touched it. Down went Carey. Out of there somehow by Huskis. Nicely done. Found Cresswell, who kicks towards half forward. Rock is in front. Clears he and Fairley. Grant behind, who started in defence, upended. Chance for Laidley, but Grant's getting the free.
What an outstanding year he's had, Shannon Grant. The Swans have got Kickett now in the square, just playing behind Tony Lockett. Good mark in front of Fairley. So a slight restructuring of the Swans on their forward line. Fairley, who met solidly there by Rocker after the kick, has been marked by Scholl. Gets the ball quickly off to Simpson. Roos attacked the ball. Carey kicks it to himself. Sets it up for Danilchenko now. He needs a kind bounce. He can run into the open goal. He doesn't get it. And Yuskis just thumps the ball through. What a game he's playing, Lee.
He is. He's just in the right spot at the right time. Really, if the ball had ran on then, it would have been a simple thing for Danilchenko, but once it bounced in the air, easy for Yuskis to punch it through.
Well, Garlick needed to go and did. Strong grab. Back to Huskis, running up towards centre half-back. Spots a man loose. That's Lewis. He's at right half-back. Swans in front. Lewis towards half-forward. Grant works off his man well. Goes back to find it. Oh, met very solidly by Archer, and he slipped into that and he's hurt. And the ball spills out of bounds. That was a nasty one. He's been playing so well, and Grant, as Archer arrived, Archer a man who makes no concessions, Grant slipped right into his path down around his legs and was paid, it seems, a heavy price. Meantime, thrown in, Anderson upended. Chapman looking for Cresswell, who's over the ball. He slaps it out. Anderson again throws it on the boot. Grant's okay. Geez, tough. The kick goes inside the 50. Missed by Roberts. Outnumbered. Garlick picks it up. Gets it quickly to O'Loughlin. Pulled off the kick. It floats. It floats out of bounds.
A couple of youngsters in Seymour and Wade Chapman and Huskis. Underrated players. Starting to make their mark on the game. Rock of North Melbourne. Garlick in front. Punched away by Crocker. Maxfield can run. 2 bounces. He's in top gear. Kicks long. Oh, this is a great kick to kick it. Great play, Swans. Great play, Maxfield.
Yes, there's nothing like breakaway pace, and when the ball came off the half-back line here and the ball came to Maxfield, he's either able to back himself to carry the ball. I was wondering if he had a better option, but it was obviously Kickett dropping back into the 50-metre arc by himself. good kick into his path and a good goal. Very important that the first goal of the third quarter is always critical. It has extended a nice break to the Swans.
A bit of byplay there, I think, between King and Kickett.
Yes. So McKernan and Stafford. McKernan knocks it down. Scott, high floater down towards half forward. Carey, good mark. That's been a physical contest, Carey and Dunkley this afternoon. Danilchenko offers something up ahead. Now he goes again. Carey ignores it and then miscues. Huskus uncontested. Wants to go and does. Very resolute back there, the Swans. Lewis to O'Loughlin. And again he's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
They should give the football to Huskus already. He's had it that much today.
Yes, he's babysitting the ball at the moment. Here's Anderson down towards half forward. Short one is on. Stevens 60 metres out. Toyed with the idea of going. Now goes back for the kick. Danilchenko breaks for him. He ignores that and goes long down towards Carey. Hasn't got the carry, and Roos, who's done very well in his 300th, goes back and takes a timely defensive mark.
Goes short to Lewis. There was a 32-point turnaround in that second term. Swans trail, went in at half-time, leading by 16. Now Kickett's kicked the goal as Lewis from half-back for the Swans out wide to Garlick. And a good brand of football, the Swans. Won 6.5 out of 10 this year. They're in fifth spot. Luff over the top. Quick hands to Rocker. Lockett pushed under the ball. It's bouncing. Martin will be happy to take it over. He's got support, though, from McKernan. Knocked down by Lockett. Martin under pressure. Swash. Gone. Caught. Caught high. Some pack tackling from the Swans.
There's a free kick down the field. Lockett infringed, I think, on against Martin. I think that's what the original thing was all about.
Laidley from half-back. Scholl takes a good grab. To Swash. Look at Kelly. Great chasing by the Swan skipper. And Roos, in his 300th game, takes a telling mark. Goes short to O'Loughlin. His kicking has let him down. Not this time. That's a great kick to Grant. Took a heavy blow a few moments ago. Been one of the big ball winners for the Swans. Roos down from half-back. Grant's had 15 possessions, taken 5 marks. 14 kicks and 8 marks for Roos. Back to Grant. This is going to set up McKernan. Struggled today. Had concussion last week. Not quite himself. Kicks to 50. Archer. Big chance for North Melbourne. They badly need a goal. They've got one.
As you said, KB, they badly needed the goal, and they've got an Archer who's now been shifted into the forward line. I don't think there's any one player on the ground that's played the one position for the entire game, and now it's Archer's turn to go up forward. He's successfully done it. A very good utility player, good defender, and always capable of being a good goal kicker as well.
I want to see your column. You'll be working overtime. 9-4-6-7. Just under 15 minutes till three-quarter time. Dyson, well done by Rock, slips it away. Blakey down towards full forward. Archer got a hand to it. It came from Danilchenko, picked up by Dunkley, who boots it out wide. A reprieve here for Sydney. Will it stay in? Yes. Stopped by Lewis. Still going, Lewis. Got by Stevens. Kicks towards the wing. Garlick. Well, he's laconic at the best of times, Lewis. The kick comes from Garlick towards the middle. Luff was up. Down in front, Scott. Robbed at the ball by Dyson. Dyson inside the 50. Kick it in 2 minds. Almost. Lockett. Open goal. The big man goes in and kicks it. His second.
Yes, a good rebound goal fire. It was interesting down in front of us here. We didn't quite see that just before this incident, but the ball has to, all the ball has to be over the boundary line. A lot of people don't realise that. That's why they think it's out of bounds, but every bit of the ball has to be over. But Lockett here, Lockett and kick. It's a dangerous full forward line structure for the Swans.
So Tony Lockett has booted 2 goals. It's his 60th goal for the season. Scott off the ground. Grant, who's been a star, to Lewis, to Dyson, who can set this up to Lockett. Martin read it well, thumps the ball 20 metres. Maxfield, 50 metres out. What a kick by Maxfield. Sensational goal. In his 100th game, he's kicked a big one.
Haven't the Swans got plenty of support here today?
Very bad defensive mistake, that one by Mick Martin. He was clearly on his own. We see this kick coming in. It was a clear mark. When you're in the front position, get your hands on the ball. He decided to punch it. And when you punch it, anyway, it can go anywhere, and it's straight down Maxfield's throat. Very poor defensive mistake, that one. It's given the Swans a goal.
So the margin is now out to 27 points. Stafford and McKernan. McKernan's been quiet, gets it down. Blakey stood up in the tackle. Lewis having an effect in this term. Down towards half forward. Bounces wide of Scholl. Luff, who's been very good, feeds it to Dyson, who pulls it back. Lockett is down there. 2-on-1 in the air. Kick it waiting in front. Lockett grabs it, snaps. Goal! How about that?
This has been a fantastic second, and then now this part of the third quarter for the Swans. Really, one thing to meet the ball there, but an oval-shaped ball that can bounce anywhere. And I think what we see here with Lockett is the agility up in the pack, but still able to keep his balance at ground level, and a good snap around his left shoulder.
Sydney by 33 points. Free kick out of the centre square. It's been smothered. McKernan slaps the ball on. Stevens has had an off day. Creswell. They've had the numbers. Sydney, they've been hunting in packs. Great tackle by Maxfield on Swash. Grant dives on top, flexing the muscles, blowing up the biceps at Optus Oval. The Swans are breathing fire.
These two teams are testing each other. There's some fantastic attacks on the ball on both sides.
Umpire Nash. McKernan, taken by Ruse, kicks to 50. Luff is strong overhead. That's his 8th mark. He averages 7 a game. Lockett's the target. Couldn't take it. Fairley overruns the ball. Wade Chapman to Ruse. Back to Lockett. How'd you like to be playing on the North Melbourne last line of defence at the moment?
Well, I think this is the most I've seen North Melbourne flustered the entire year. I mean, the Swans have just had an enormous attack on the ball, and they've got the scoreboard pressure on them as well by kicking accurately.
Luff again up in front, not paid. Cresswell, 60 metres out to kick it. Kick it wants to go. He's dynamite from this situation. He pulls it back. It's bending back. It just missed. Doesn't even look. He's got the radar, and away he goes. Lockett having a lot to say, and I tend to agree with him. I thought he was pretty harshly dealt with the last time the ball went in. He appeared to be held. King's got the ball meantime. Not a bad ploy. Kicks it to himself, runs away. If we go back to last season, this is Scott on the outer side. In round 15, Sydney beat North Melbourne. His Freeborn. Martin in trouble. That's holding it surely. Chapman got him. And that win last year snapped a 5-game winning streak for North. They've won their last 3. They're under the pump here. Lockett. Well, they uncorked the genie when he snapped that goal. Very close team, as you can see.
But of course, it was his opponent, Mick Martin, that was penalised for holding the ball 50 metres away. And when the Swans got possession and Martin was up there, you knew that Lockett had to be on his own somewhere, or opposed to a player of half his size. And pretty simple kick and mark in the end.
He finds it hard to hide. So Tony Lockett, his best effort against North Melbourne, 2 hauls of 9 as a Saint. He's got 3, 2 in this term. This will make it very difficult for North Melbourne to get back. They're down by 34 points. This for a lead of 40. Lockett. Goal.
It's often underrated, but the defensive and tackling pressure of the Swans has just been fantastic. I mean, it created this turnover at half-back. All of a sudden, North Melbourne are taking the ball away, the tackle, the free kick, and then a goal back down the other end. And that defensive and tackling pressure has been fantastic for the Swans.
Swans have kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes. Lockett's now kicked 1,070 goals in his career. 213 great games. Wade Chapman gets it across to Dyson. They look awesome, the Swans. Kelly, short and luff. Well, the man from Nelson Bay is killing North Melbourne across half forward. And a free kick to Roos.
They're inspired at the moment, aren't they? Just inspired.
Well, the tackling of the Sydney Swans today, as good as I've seen this year, Lee.
Yes, I think so. I mean, that pressure, I mean, you've got to get first hands on the ball and to beat North Melbourne or beat any good side, really, and that's what the Swans have been able to do.
Paul Roos has kicked a goal in the second term. He's kicked another in the third.
And almost an 8-goal lead. It's just been a fantastic second and third quarter by the Swans to turn this game around. And their defence are really running out hard. And as we see here, there was a couple, 4 Swans players to 2 North Melbourne in their forward 50 area. And a good accurate kick by Roos.
Out of the centre again, it spills wide to Roos. Maxfield slipped over, taken high. Everything running for them at the present time. Maxfield alongside the centre circle. Dyson has been so good inside the centre square. Roos goes back, intended for Luff. Roos has taken this mark. Paul Roos, his 19th possession coming up. He's celebrating in style, the champ. Where's he gone? Out wide to Kickett. And Kickett's got this one. I'd venture to say too far out to score unless he goes for a torpedo, which he may well do. So, buckle up. This could be a ride. Derek Kickett unloads. It is massive, but offline. Distance, no problem. Out of bounds on the full in the pocket.
You know, I think the correct term is that Kickett's playing full forward. Lockett is basically didn't lead for that ball, just stayed in the goal square. And I think the plans of the Swans are for Kickett to be the moving forward and Lockett to be that last resort long kick option.
It's been a 10-goal turnaround to the Sydney Swans. They trail by 16 points at quarter time. Now they lead by 45. Stafford, who's put all the big guns out of business. He's beaten McKernan in the ruck, finds Luff. He's arguably best player on the ground, looking for Kickett. He's got it. He's got it. Well, there's talk about Derek Kickett being too old, and maybe this could be his last year of league football, but he's playing too good for that league.
When he's on, he's really on. He can go missing a bit at times, like a lot of those kind of enigmatic players can. And he's kicked it. He's kicked his 3rd goal. But when he's on, he's very good, and he's been very good in this last 10 or 15 minutes. A very skillful player.
Gutsy mark too, because no love lost between he and King, and he knew King was going to come down hard.
And that was almost the ultimate Stafford out Mark McKernan from behind to really accentuate how well he's done in that particular jerk.
Centre square free. Stafford's got it. Lewis on the wing after the infringement inside the centre square. Probing kick, short of the mark. Almost a mark though to Chapman. He battles after it. They are fanatical. And will have a bounce about 35 metres out. Rarely has the ball been in North's half. 15-5 to 6-7. That's right. Sydney up 95 to 43. A remarkable transformation in this game. wide of the pack. Down went Grant, was it? Comes across, it was Cresswell. Meantime, the ball is booted down towards full forward by Garlick. Through comes Martin, dragged down by Kickett. Very hard to clear the zone. Scholl off the ground, out very wide. Out of bounds. Throwing.
Something inspiring when a team has an absolute attack on the game like the Swans are today. I mean, they are really just fanatical in the way they're attacking this game, and the results there for them.
They kicked 6 goals to 1 in the second quarter. It's 7 goals to 1 in this third quarter. So since quarter time, 13 goals to 2. Luff. Pretending to be Gary Ablett. Dunkley, McKernan, got his hands on it, couldn't take it. Grant, quick hands to Kelly. Just keep forcing the ball forward. Loose player in Lewis. Lockett's in his sights. Martin did well. Archer will go hard at it. He did. A free kick for young Barry, who did well because Archer is tough at the ball.
And again, I've said it a couple of times today, if you go hard at the ball and go in low, almost inevitably the opposition tackler has to go in high and will get a free kick for the over-the-shoulder infringement.
So Barry has only kicked 1 goal in his short career, right on 50. Oh, he's kicked his second. What a kick.
It's contagious.
Eight goals for the quarter and plenty of minutes still to go. Really, it's just been an incredible first at the ball effort. They've just got the first hands on the ball and been able to use their loose play, the Swans. It really has been a fantastic exhibition of real power football.
Way restarts. 101 to 43. Rock knocks it through. Eventually they work it forward. That was Bell down towards half forward. Seymour, Huskis, Dyson loved his game. Lewis, so good in this term. Kicks looking for Luff. Reaching over the top. It's fisted away down there by Crocker. Again, Sydney not prepared to compromise. O'Loughlin, Grant, Dyson, Stafford now in trouble. Back towards Grant. Hasn't got the ball. Will get the free kick. A pulsating turn. Grant out wide. Garlick running on down the ground. Maxfield. Maxfield needs it to bounce. Met by Schwass. Down he went. Loose ball. Emerging with it. Anderson. This is fairly across half-back. A high kick down towards half-forward. They come from all directions. McKernan would have paid it. Not paid. Slips out to Blakey. Hooks it back inside the 50. Desperation down there by Archer. Brilliantly played to Dedalchenko. And he kicks behind. Hit the post. Archer was fearless to win that ball. But they can't buy a goal. Sydney's best third term this year, 50 points against Brisbane in round 9. Looks like they'll break that.
Stewie Maxfield kicked a great goal in this third term. Out towards Roos. It's also kicked 2. They've got a ball up on the half-back flank.
For such a young player to be used as a specialist kicker as Shannon Grant is for the Swans, the composure to know what to do with the ball and the ability to kick the ball accurately is outstanding.
Lewis out to O'Loughlin, to Dyson. Kicks long to 50, kick it. Out in front of King, needs a kind bounce. Toe pokes off the ground, the Luff. In the pocket, he centres it to Lockett, great play. Well, before today, North Melbourne on top of the ladder with 8 wins and only 2 losses. Haven't been beaten in Melbourne. The Swans, absolutely magnificent today.
It's amazing when the adrenaline starts pumping through your body, and there's plenty of it in the Swans today. They are really playing like men possessed.
See Tony Lockett with 5 marks. Corey McKernan today has only taken 1 mark, and Wayne Carey 3 for North Melbourne. Dedalchenko, who kicked 2 goals in the first term, coming off for the Kangaroos. Scholl coming on as Lockett pops through his 5th goal.
In this term.
And one has to comment, there's plenty of red and white in this crowd for a interstate side. Plenty of those people who bagged for South Melbourne in the old days are still coming along and watch the Swans, and they're getting good value for their money today.
And maybe a few Fitzroy supporters for old time's sake too. Pull out some red and white. They're making plenty of noise. Lockett, 4 goals in the term, 5 for the game, and it's a rout. McKernan goes up, thumps it down. This is Stevens, off his step inside the 50. Good mark. Seymour, that ball was arriving quickly. Chips it across the ground. Lewis, he's had a very good term. Dale Lewis towards the outer side. Precise. Kelly going with the flight of the ball. No easy mark, that one. Here's a champ to Grant, sold into trouble. A little overconfidence that time. Stafford. Well, they get out of it. Back to Kelly. Kelly, the high one. Look out for Lockett from behind. Oh, the man Mountain. What a grab. The earth would have been shaking for a couple of those defenders in front as the big man lumbered at this one. Have a look.
This is why he's a once-in-the-century player. Bloke that big who can jump like that.
A kick like that. 5 in the quarter. 6 for the game. The Sydney Swans are for real.
Well, I think they are, Dennis. I must say, coming here today, I thought they've done well to get to where they were, 5th on the ladder. But, gee, they've been impressive today. And I think the good thing about it, Lockett's joined in the party the last 5 or 10 minutes, but the game was really set up and won before Lockett exerted his influence on the game. And we see here opening up the angle and making a certainty of a difficult kick.
So McKernan in the ruck against Stafford has been terrific. O'Loughlin across half back. Ties it up. And a bounce on the edge of the front edge of the centre square. Sydney 18 goals 5, 113. North Melbourne 6-8-44. Tony Lockett has booted 6. Derek Kickett 3. Troy Luff 2 and Paul Roos 2 goals. To Scott. North Melbourne can't kick a goal. You can see there where we've got Dennis Pagan, some worried looks on their faces. Out to Huskis, who's been a star. He sets it up to Archer, a bad decision.
Chip kick inside when it goes up in the air and gives the opposition a chance to run and intercept. It gives Archer a set shot.
He's been the lone goal kicker for North Melbourne this quarter. Can he bend it back? He has.
Surely Huskis is not being interchanged for that indiscretion, because he's been an exceptionally good player. One mistake, I'm not quite sure why he's been interchanged. It may be for a rest or it may be for a comment from the coach. Seeing the game is probably won. It's now a matter of learning from the experience. He's been a very good player, Huskis, apart from that bad mistake.
Yes, 22 possessions, his 22nd, not the best of them. McKernan knocks it down. Rock works it towards half forward. Seymour goes back with courage. Brilliantly done. Found it on the ground for long enough to tie things up. Carey falls in there. Much the forgotten man this afternoon. Dunkley on top of him. And a bounce. Just taking a look at the record book here. Standout quarters. The best third quarter in round 11 of all time. 11-5 by Fitzroy against Geelong way back in 1944. At the present time, Sydney have posted 10-1 inside the last 2 minutes of the quarter. Touch and go, an entry in the record books. Arnott. Roos comes away, a little chip out wide. Lewis leads in the race, worked out of it by Anderson. Twisting and turning, pulls it back towards the middle. Maxfield did the hard work, missed the ball. Rock, Stevens broadens it, it comes across to Roberts. Question of accuracy, not there. Behind. Lachlan comes away.
Finds Stafford. Very impressive young player. To Grant. Who's been once more a dominating player today. 21 possessions and 6 marks. Not quite the three-quarter time. To Luff. McKernan. One of his rare touches. O'Loughlin. Cross half back. Will kick the ball long. Lewis. Can he beat Anderson? He does. Luff is screaming for it. Great running by Luff. Kickett's there as well. Used his body. Well, he's a miracle man. And gets a round of applause from Lewis. And you have a look at that, Trey. Sort of basically bends his back a little, sticks the bum in, and protects the ball. A very good body player. Very good mark. He's kicked 3. It's a minor score.
What are the figures on Dale Lewis this quarter? She's had a lot of the ball. Get those. Meantime, King kicks off. Maxfield jumped, missed it. Rock behind, breaks away. Towards the wing, down towards half forward, intended for Stevens. Knocked away by Grant. Stevens gathers the ball on the ground, though. Bacon goal square. Kicks. Carey out of midair. Something spectacular. Belatedly spectacular, but a goal nevertheless. 8-10, 18-6. Well, it gets the margin under 10 goals, and I suppose that's important if North can pick up another goal. It's going to be difficult because very couple of seconds to go for the quarter. Maybe there's still some hope, but really comprehensively outplayed, and it's a bit of a consolation goal even this early from the end. Just talking about Dale Lewis, 13 possessions in this quarter. Wow.
McKernan down as the siren sounds. Fantastic third term by the Sydney Swans. 18 goals, 6, 114. A 10-goal quarter. North Melbourne, 8-10, 58. Can North Melbourne come back in this final term after being blown away by Sydney in that third quarter? Stafford against McKernan. Swash. So North Melbourne, first kick out of the centre square. Garlick was there, taken away here. Good young player in Barry. Enjoying today. McKernan hasn't had a good day. Laidley driven into the ground by Stafford. And will get the free kick. Feeds it off to Roberts. Down inside 50. Scholl was in front. Wade Chapman crashed to the ground. Was it high? Another ball up.
That's a terrible feeling, isn't it? The spoil, and you're camped in front, and they just keep on coming. Don't miss a beat. Don't miss you. So a bounce, 55 metres out for North. Seymour over the top. Schwass trying to lift his team. He won't do it that way. Out of bounds on the full. Second game back after that broken arm, Wayne Schwass, and he's missed the 6 weeks, and he just still hasn't quite got the timing and the rhythm back. 18-6 to 8-10. This is Cresswell. Short one is on. Rocker. Sydney's so good this afternoon. Rocker, thumping kick down towards half-foot, intended for Grant at the second attempt. Great mark. He's been marvellous. Shannon Grant. Left half forward, spears it into Lewis, who in many respects was the catalyst in the third term. 13 possessions, we've touched on that, after only 3 earlier in the game. Garlick, North Melbourne in disarray. We've seen this so often, the Swans, the way they've pushed up from the line ahead, whether it's the half-back line or the midfield line, to give themselves this free target inside that forward 50 area. I think maybe that's something they isolated, that in leg speed the Swans have made North look slow. Well, I suppose up until this afternoon people have been speaking of Sydney as a potential finals team. Are they a potential premiership team? Goal.
see Garlick running back. I think he's probably playing back pocket if it's a designated position for any player on this ground today. But he's pushed right up from the defence to give him to be a target, and then becomes a pretty easy shot 30 metres out from goal. Glenn Freeborn, his direct opponent, is probably being asked, how come you weren't down there with him?
Stafford on the boundary line, having some attention to his knee. Rocker now in the ruck for the Swans. Roberts for North Melbourne, young Anthony Rocker. Against McKernan. Roberts tries to hold him up. Good play by Kelly, got it out to Lewis, the Maxfield, he'll run to 50. Lockett, he has set big plugger up. He'll get the free kick.
50-metre penalty? Well, probably about 5-metre penalty as it turned out. But I sometimes wonder when the ball's coming forward and a player's coming back with the flight of the ball, it's almost impossible for him to make a contest because the umpire is going to free kick them all the time.
Plugger has to take his kick again.
Well, I suppose they've got to make the effort to be looking for the ball, don't they?
Yeah.
Look back once over the shoulder, that's probably enough.
There's bravery and there's stupidity, and when you're running the same way as the ball to keep your eye directly on it, opening up the front of your body, that's where it takes real courage. Not too many able to do that.
Especially when this man's waiting on the other end.
With an upraised knee.
That's right.
To protect himself.
6 goals for the match, kicked 5 in the third quarter. He's now kicked 7.
I've got to say, Lee, I think he's the most awesome thing in football today, don't you?
Well, I think he is, as I say. I think the Swans have a healthy reliance on him, but not today. I think he's kicked 7 goals today, but he's probably kicked without being sure statistically, maybe 4 of the last 6 or 7. The Swans had the game well won before Lockett started to score.
And that was a hard landing. Lockett's got 7. Sydney have bolted 126 to 58 against the league leaders. That look says it all. Walker on the ball now, and McKernan. McKernan behind this time, intended for Schwass, in trouble. Claimed. Chapman's been very good holding the ball.
The umpires seem to have rediscovered the holding the ball decision today, the last month, as if it doesn't exist.
Chapman inside the 50. Lockett comes. Grant waiting in front. Still he's going to Kelly inside the 50, short towards the pocket. Lewis, awkward half volley, controls it brilliantly. Nonchalant player, kicks it out of bounds on the full, holds his head. Did the hard stuff, controlled the ball.
I don't know whether he's nonchalant inside, Lewis, but he's certainly nonchalant from the outside, isn't he, when you look at him?
Yep.
Anderson for North Melbourne transfers the ball across the goal face to Rock, who's beckoning his opponent King to run on. He wants to go over the top. He gets support. Swash sets it back up to Rock. The tackling of the Swans today has been as good as you wish to see. Finds King. Swash runs on. A few touches in this last term, but the tackling once more been superb. Maxfield inside the centre square. He's got Lockett again. He gives it across the ground. Unselfish play.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
I must say, he must have thought seriously Lockett was just playing on himself, but oh yeah, no, the player's in the right position. He did the right thing, Lockett, and gave the ball off to make a certain goal out of one that was probably pretty certain even prior to that. But again, the tackle on Schwass that turned the ball over, the tackling of the Swans to turn the ball over at midfield, and certainly the ability to score 21-6. It's a good scoring. They've had fantastic accuracy. A long time since I've seen North Melbourne look so beaten and demoralised.
Well, they're on their way to a record score against North Melbourne. Previous best, 22 goals, 13, 145. That was in round 15 of Optus Oval as well, so they've got a great chance here, the Swans. Ball kicked down for North Melbourne, kicked off the The ground through the air to Roos, who just paddles the ball over. That record score came in 1942 for Sydney against North Melbourne. They've only played at this ground on 4 occasions, so well on target.
You are remarkable too, off the top of your head. So boundary throw in. Knocked down by Luff, knocked away by Carey. Dyson, best game I've seen him play. Roos has been terrific. His 22nd possession. Loops it out to Kelly, who goes looking for Grant. Schwass to tidy up behind. Confronted, gets away. Laidley. Laidley, clever. Fairly. Inside the centre square, look out. Taken down by Lewis. It spills across to Arnold, who finds Kickett. Kickett, a little too fancy. Grant running into an open goal, wants to repay the debt. Goes to Lockett, turns around, goal. What a day.
I think you're absolutely correct, Dennis. I think Grant did want to repay the debt. He probably knew he should have kicked it. Mickey Martin, he was more thinking, I want Grant to kick this goal. I don't want another one to Lockett. So Mickey wasn't sure whether to come and meet him or just stand back with Lockett. It's interesting here. Have a look at Martin if we can see it on the screen. Didn't know whether to go. Another fantastic tackle by the Swans. Turned the ball over half forward.
Tony Lockett is the most awesome forward I've ever seen, Dennis. So you mentioned before maybe the most awesome player in the game today, but I don't think we've ever seen a person on the forward line of his size and his agility and his ability to mark and kick the ball.
And his nature.
Not fun to play on, I wouldn't think. Said before the game.
McKernan against Luff. Down to Maxfield. The Swans, they just keep on coming. Freeborn gets the ball across. Swash. Anderson to Rock to Scott. So North Melbourne. Ball no longer falling for the Kangaroos. Roberts, Carey feeds it off to Scott. He'll be tackled here. Caught is Simpson. Make that Stevens. The kick's bouncing, and it's touched.
Oh, terrific.
O'Loughlin, desperate on the goal line. Well, here's O'Loughlin. North Melbourne haven't kicked a goal this term. And he just saved one. Garlick to Luff. That's his 10th mark. To Barry. Just couldn't take for the Swans. Dean Laidley lost his goal pass to Arnold Schwarzenegger's gym. Picked up by Freeborn. Laidley with quick hands, intercepted by Creswell. There's a fight there. Carey on the ground with Lewis. At ground level, pounced on it by Kelly. It's got to come back. It's going to North Melbourne.
They seem intent on playing the perfect game, North Melbourne. Lewis comes off the ground, or rather Sydney, as Lewis comes off the ground. There goes the kick from Fairley towards the wing. Danilchenko. Marvellous by O'Loughlin just moments ago. Kick comes across and is taken by Anderson. Still inside the centre square. Told to play on now. Anderson wobbles it inside the 50. A misunderstanding. McKernan knocked it away from Archer. Wide, a chance for Garlick. Close to the boundary line. Takes it across from Carey's hand pass. Wayne Carey eclipsed this afternoon in all respects. Dunkley has done a fine job. But the superstar of this game, certainly in the second half, has been Tony Lockett. Maxfield with the run of it outside the 50. The short one is on. Kelly has it on the wing.
Tries to set it up in the centre of the ground. He was looking for young Arnott. Stevens gets the ball back to Fairley. Just thumps the ball back to 50. McKernan. The high fly couldn't take it. Dunkley thought he had it. Huskis has been great across half back to Creswell. Tried to feed the ball off to Seymour. Grant over the top. Been outstanding. Tackling superb by the Swans. And a ball up just outside 50 for North Melbourne. Shannon Grant. You've got to be able to play when you have a haircut like that. McKernan wins the tap. Kelly wanted the free. Garlick just tried to crash his way through with strength. Kicked off the ground once more by Kelly. So it's a race on. Trying to get there first was Simpson. Backed up by Schwass. Kicks it straight over the line.
A grubber. He grabbed it out. That was an interesting way of getting the ball into touch or out of bounds.
Paul Roos playing his 300th game today. It's been a good one. He's kicked 2 goals. He's had 22 possessions and he's taken 9 marks. And another kick just added to his stats. Fairly. North Melbourne defence been under enormous pressure today. Dyson kept his feet. Scholl caught by Huskis. Sydney just keep forcing it forward. They've got the numbers. They're hunting in packs. Garlick over the top. Now he sets it up to Luff. A goal going to come up here for the Swans. They need a bounce. Couldn't get one. Kick it. Can he make something out of it? Arnott. Second chance. Back to kick it. Lockett versus Martin. Plugger couldn't take it on the second grab. Nearly took the crumb. Anderson takes the pressure off for North Melbourne.
Roberts, the defensive side of the wing. Across the ground. Stevens towards half forward, intended for Archer. He's got it about 60 metres out. Carey breaks for him. The ball goes in that direction, and he's beaten one-on-one by Dunkley. Well, Dunkley restricted Carey to 9 kicks in round 15 last season. Carey a couple of goals today, but Dunkley generally the master in what's been a physical contest. Dyson close to best on ground, where Lachlan from half-back swings it wide to Grant, not far behind Dyson. In fact, it's probably a toss-up. Grant, Rocker, he's on the wing. Men on in the middle, he ignores that, goes for distance. It wobbles down to Kelly. Roos is breaking for him now. Can he get his third? Paul Roos settles, wants Plugger. He took a king-size divot.
Is there a prize for the 100 goals, 150, and the Swans are sharing or something? I thought that was the ultimate I've seen in Roos here. I've just given the ball to Lockett. I mean, it was a simple goal for Roos. It's just as hard for Lockett, I would think. Again, an example of the way the Swans' defence are flooding forward when they got possession of the ball around midfield to make that extra number 4. They've ran so hard out of that area.
2 games ago, 11 against Brisbane. Last time out, 9 against Fitzroy. Now he's looking at number 9 here to equal his best against North Melbourne. 8 of them in the second half if he gets it. He's got it. This is remarkable.
Yes, it's an absolute dominance, isn't it, all around the field. You know, young player, I mentioned Grant earlier. As I say, I think he's a very good player. Kelly, the longer the game's gone, has just come further and further into it, and Roos has just been an exceptional player. I would say it's as good a 300th game as I've ever seen. He has played exceptionally well.
They're within 1 point of their highest ever score against North Melbourne.
Swash for North Melbourne out of the square. Pumps it back. In front was Dunkley's been good. Stevens, quick kick. Lachlan will take it through. 1 point. So Sydney within 1 point of their highest ever score against North Melbourne. A score that took place 54 years ago. Poor kicking from Grant about his only mistake to Carey. He's on 50. Great mark by Roos. So Paul Roos will celebrate tonight his milestone 300th game. Kicks out to Seymour. Unobtrusive player. Gets the ball back to Dyson. And pass didn't hit its target. Chance for Maxfield. Been terrific in the second half. Been run down by Rock. Swash tries to kick the ball off the ground. Falls on top. Kelly also over the top. And a ball up on the centre wing.
Actually, one thing I don't like about these sorts of games as we take a look at North Melbourne's last goal a long time ago, don't see much of the match because your head's always in the record book. I think there's another record coming up shortly, their greatest ever margin over North Melbourne, 92 points. Everyone's getting into the act.
And McKernan takes the free kick. He's had an off day. It's just his 4th kick. Kicks down to 50, where Roos once more holds him up.
Huskis so good in defence, particularly early when the game was tight. That's not a good kick, though. He's inclined now and again to waste the ball under no pressure. Simpson could punish him. It comes back. Huskis anxious to make amends, though. Gets across. Well done. Garlick. The youngsters combine around the outer side. Garlick precise to Luff. Again, very good early. Around the outer side. Takes on the tackle. Left the ball behind. Stopped it like a policeman with one hand. Freeborn sits on it. Not bad policy. Try and deflate it. We've got a whistle. And the ball up down towards right half forward. Luff has been good. They've all been good. Luff, one hand. Got the kick away too. Donalchenko knocked it. O'Loughlin. Donalchenko again at close quarters. King throws it on the boot towards midfield. Dyson, how many is that? That's his 29th possession. Across to Grant. They generally combine and he finds Lockett. Grant, 29 possessions. Or was it 28? 28 for Grant. Dyson, 29. And now Lockett going at his 9th goal of the term, his 10th of the game.
And that is just what one would term a 50-metre pass directly out in front of Red Lockett. Beautiful kick by Grant.
Now what's the betting? I think we like him from here. His confidence should be sky high. The man Mountain from just inside the 50 bends it back. Superb kick. 10.
Well, I mean, Lockett's doing the finishing in this last quarter and a half, I must say, but I just was impressed with this Grant. He got the ball, had space down the field. We're not seeing it, but Lockett's gone one way, and then we've finally got some space to go to, and then really it was just exactly within a foot of exactly where Lockett wanted the ball, and a lovely finish.
.68 goals now for the year to Tony Lockett. 4 times he's kicked the century. He's kicked 9 goals since half-time for a total of 10. Stevens camps under the ball. Takes a good grab. Dunkley on the mark. Had a superb duel today with Carey, who's taken the honours. Stevens thumps the ball to the front of the goal square. The high flyers Archer, who's tried pretty hard for North.
Good contributor wherever he goes, and in the second half he really has been the shining light, probably about to kick his 3rd goal, and that's almost been North's score in the second half.
So Archer kicks his 3rd goal for the match.
The Swans have probably won the game all over the field, but their defence has just been fantastic. I mean, I think North marking forward line is something that gives them as a great attacking strength, but today, I mean, that's one of the very few occasions that North players been able to jump up and mark the long ball kicked into the forward 50, and that's normally what they do so well, but not today.
Still 6 minutes to go. 24-6 to 9-12. Bear in mind, North kicked 4 of their goals in the opening term and led by 16 points at quarter time. Anderson gets away. It was taken high. Well, that was interesting. An umpire further away from the action than the man who bounced the ball made that decision. Now we've got some indecision as a result. And the umpires actually talking between themselves. Interesting there, they've swapped over. One umpire was 10 metres away. The man that made the call on that play was probably 35 metres away at least. Here's Anderson. Kicking down towards half forward. Great mark in front by McKernan. Plays on, releases Stevens on his left side from 55, bangs it long. Carey, almost, it didn't stick. Dunkley's got him, enjoyed that, got him on the deck. But in the meantime, Carey's getting a free, a little bit of cheesecake. Carey in the pocket. Well, it's been that sort of day. North Melbourne have been turned inside out. Oh. Wayne Carey. He's got two. That looks like you've been playing footy. Come in from the backyard like that, KB.
Looks like Hulk Hogan about to step into the ring.
Will he kick it? Never kicked a goal dressed like this before. No trouble at all. No, he's missed. Behind. Kickett's off the ground. Arnott's back on. Derek Kickett, well done. There's a phone call waiting for him.
Grant to bring the ball back into play. Another great game by the youngster. Just in his 21st game of league football. He's had 28 possessions. Huskers. It's been terrific across half-back for the Swans. Carey. Half undressed.
Have a look at that.
Looked like Superman there with a cape out the...
Oh!
Another great mark by Archer. Carey now is going to replace his jumper as Archer kicks to the front of the square. They can raffle it. Bingo, lucky number 9. Taken by Garlick, goes wide, finds Kelly. He's off and running. Over the top to Ruse. It was a good interception. They keep running to space, the Swans. Kelly never stops. He's got no one down on the forward line. And Rock across half-back can set it up for North.
Anderson. Well, Rodney Eade has taken the points today, no question about that. Ennis Bagan has made a living outsmarting opposition coaches. There's a 50 for Anderson, but Eade came in knowing a lot about North Melbourne. But really more than that, I think it's the spirit he's engendered into his team. Wasn't so much smarts on the bench. Ooh, copping a nasty one down there was Luff. He was quickly up. Meantime, Scott's got the ball. They're feeling no pain, Sydney. O'Loughlin, brilliantly done. Luff wanted to get square. He's involved with Carey. And Carey's getting a free kick. Luff pleading his case, saying he copped one, a straight arm. Watch it. That's O'Loughlin. Luff sliding in on Carey, but earlier than that, Luff really copped one about 25 metres from that action and was anxious to make some contact with Carey. Carey, meantime, bends it back. They've been touched on the line. That is very close. It's a goal. The champ gets his third.
Yeah, he has tried hard, Carey. I mean, he hasn't had the kind of days that we expect because he's capable of being such an awesome player, but I still think he's probably in the top 3 or 4 players for North Melbourne over the day. He's tried hard, hasn't been able to influence the game enormously, but still been in there and at it. But you know, Dunkley done a terrific job in a defensive role in the main.
Sydney by 77 points. Rocker down to Creswell. Been taken by Anderson. North Melbourne drive it into 50. O'Loughlin. All day the defence has worked so hard for the Sydney Swans. Garlick, youngster from St Kevin's, kicks it out wide. McPherson taken over the line. Comes from Ganmain. Carlton supporters remember Turkey Tom Carroll came from that country. Stevens for North Melbourne. Not one of his better days. Out of bounds on the full. Andrew Dunkley, certainly the most improved backman in the game. Been marked by Dyson. So across half back, Swans are looking to set it up. 24 goals, 6-1-50 to North Melbourne's 10-13-73, and young Rocker. Enormous talent, and Ruse just enjoying his 300th game. Just racking up the possessions. He's got another 3. 11 marks, 28 possessions today, and he's kicked 2 goals. So outside 50. Lewis, who had 13 possessions in the 3rd term, he was absolutely outstanding. Arnott kicks to the square. Lockett, Kelly over the top. Lockett kicks. Through for 1 point. They're enjoying it, Dennis.
Smiles all round.
Footy's fun when you're 15 goals in front.
Have a look at Mickey Martin. He doesn't think it's fun. He's 15 goals behind. Away comes King. Well, 10 goals behind anyway.
Literally,
in the
it's about the same.
Yeah. There's Blakey towards midfield. A tumbler. It bounces. Oh, what was McKernan thinking of? Dunkley through the middle. Probing kick. Lockett and Martin. Lockett fisted away by Martin down in front. Taken by Barry. Off his step. Tries to pull it back. It's out of bounds on the full. Stops the clock with about 1:40 to go. 1:41 to be precise. 78 points, Sydney. Fairley drives it around the outer side. Garlick, who can take a mark, does this time. He's deceptive for a man that size. Short one is on Dyson, coming up for his 31st possession.
So Plugger Lockett's in the square. He's booted 10. Dyson can kick it a long way. Looks for Seymour. Plugger's got it. Couldn't quite get it away. Young Arnott dragged to the ground.
I think he was surprised, wasn't he? Plugger, he didn't expect to get it then.
He could be sitting up the race, I think, at this stage of the game, and it'd still land in his lap. So another chance for the Swans, under a minute to go. The ball trickles over the line for a boundary throw-in. It's a remarkable scoreline. When you consider they lead 151 to 73. They trail by 16 points at quarter time. Turned it all around the 2nd and 3rd term. Huskis from behind. Scholl tried to claim it. And in the dying seconds, a ball up on the half-back flank for North Melbourne.
Adam Huskis, one of many good players for the Sydney Swans this afternoon, who have served notice to the remainder of the league. They're in this thing. Terrible start to the season, thrashed in their opening 2 games, but haven't they come back? Here's Seymour. Gets it across. Kelly and/or Luff. Luff with confidence, breaks away, kicks towards Lewis. And he's taken this mark about 25 metres out. We're down to about 3 seconds. He wants to go now. He's missed on the siren. Plenty of feeling here. The Swans way. Great ovation. And they have won decisively. 24-8 to 10-13.